Hello there. If you're interested in games such as Roblox, Minecraft, um, Fortnite, and why not Second Life, you might actually find this clip interesting. I'm trying to shed some light on a lesser known platform called Opensim, which is being used by a significant number of instructors and education researchers to develop their virtual learning environments. We have implemented a system called RezMela, which aims at accelerating the development of applications for the Opensim platform. So let's get started. Yeah, so basically, what I wanted to do with this little example app that was built on the RezMela system is to illustrate an example application that this system can give rise to. In this case, we only chose to work with libraries of blocks. And some blocks are very simple, they are just textures. Other blocks are smart, they actually take in data and they have functionalities. Some can be light sources, projectors, and things like that. But to keep things simple, we just wanted to provide within this small amount of time that we have and within the amount of attention that we can afford to explore these things, I know a few examples so that would get you to think more creatively about what you could do in 3D spaces. I will pause the clip and talk about interesting features as they appear. There are a whole range of scenes that you can create. So here we have created like a pixel art using blocks that we obtained, from our create menu. So if you look at the HUD here, you have a create button. If you click on the create button, you will see a whole set of libraries of objects that you can pick and choose from. In this case, it will be blocks. We picked actually blocks that had different textures, and once you pick the blocks, you can just place it on the grid. There are snap functionalities that makes building very simple, and the creation aspect will be described in a different clip. But for now, we are just going to look at the diversity of scenes that can be created using this simple app. Okay. So as you can see, it's a tool that you can use to explore, your creativity and try to construct these little objects. Let me pause here, and you can see that when you sign into the application, when you sign into this application, you will see your name appearing on top, just indicating that you are signed in, and then you have the HUD menu that pops up. And when you sign in, you will see that all the objects have a hamburger icon associated with it. Okay, and if you click on these hamburger icons, you can actually access functionalities for each and every one of these blocks. So the blocks are not simply textures or images, they can actually be, more advanced. They can actually have more advanced functionalities. But we just wanted to explain things simply in the beginning, and then as we progress, you will see what are those functionalities available for what we call smart blocks. Okay, they are not basically dummy blocks, which are blocks with simply a texture applied to them. So let's move forward. And you can also, as you can see, animate the various scenes. So if you save a scene as a particular frame of an animation, and then you rearrange them and then save another scene, you can actually play through these different scenes and animate your setup. In this case, you can see that the blocks just popped up and moved to the locations that they are supposed to be in order to solve the puzzle. Okay. So you can clear the scenes as you just saw, and okay. So this is another interesting one, and again, these are blocks that with textures that were applied to them, and we applied textures just by clicking on the hamburger icon and entered a URL to the picture, or you can even specify a texture through the UUID, which is like a pointer to a texture. You don't need to know the details right now. I'm just mentioning it in passing so that that there is something more to it. And just notice the text. Those text can also be entered, just by typing in the text you would do as you would do normally on your keyboard. And you can see the quality of the text is quite crisp and clean. And this is what we want for for our applications in World. And especially if you are interested in in educational applications. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that when we are treating pictures this way, we are not limited in resolution. So if we are talking about like a painting in a classroom dedicated to art appreciation, for example, in a virtual classroom, you can have pictures with high definition images of real world paintings, and the teacher can actually talk about specific small details of the painting, and it becomes more interesting that way. So there are many different ways to work with the limitations of a virtual world hosting platform. You can so in this case, what we showed is how you can actually bypass any kind of resolution, image resolution constraint that you may have. And you can see that there's a really lot of applications that you can build with this. Here, I just wanted to create a meeting board, and it could be a useful tool for note taking, and you have a lot of possibilities here. One is you can imagine creating a brainstorming session in a virtual world, and you're collecting ideas, and you can actually move these blocks around and reorganize the ideas according to themes, topics, and whatever categorization you want to choose. Okay, so basically we have very simple objects that we can use for all kinds of applications. So you can use this for implementing, a Kanban table, okay, or a getting things done table. You can have 3 different columns of text blocks. One is, the wish list, and the second one is things that are currently being worked on, and the other one is about, things that have been implemented. And it becomes a very dynamic environment, and you're actually in a 3D world and manipulating your information in a very simple way. Okay. Keep in mind that our design, in this case for this particular app, has been to utilize blocks, but it can actually be many, many other things. And that's up to us. Okay, so for this app, we decided to use blocks. It could have been, signposts. It could have been post-it notes, a whole range of objects that you can design in 3D. Okay, so to keep things simple again, we are just focusing on the Melablocks app, which is an example application implemented on the RezMela system. Let's go and look at other example scenes. So this one looks like this one is a periodic table of elements, and again, just another example of application that you can use, with a very simple building blocks that we provide. So I'm sure you will be having your own ideas about how you could actually use these different objects. If you want to experiment with, designing 3D spaces, you can use the application to build the buildings itself with the same blocks. Okay. So basically what we were trying to shoot for here is come up with a language for creating 3D worlds with very small building elements. Okay. And so the process is very similar to trying to create a language. Maybe I'll talk about this later in a different part. So let's clear this, and let's look at another example. This is kind of a very simple example. Like you can actually have like a chessboard that you can build by assembling the blocks together. Keep in mind that we can also change the size of these blocks, but that's for a different type. I think we are in a path where we are trying to explore this dimension of creation in a virtual environment. We really want to create not only immersive spaces that's going to bring people together for whatever social reason, but we really wanted to add productivity functionalities to that space. And one of the things we really wanted to do is to make sure that you are able to enter text as easily as you would in a Facebook comment or a tweet, but all in a 3D world. And we really wanted to balance the immersive social aspects with the 3D productivity aspects. And it's a learning experience, and we are learning along the way and discovering new things. This is very similar to the previous one. Okay, this is another example where you can view this as a kind of a mind map, and you have you can. It's kind of a 3D mind map. I did not really spend too much time on this, but I could see that there is a potential here if you want to just throw in blocks in there with ideas, and then you want to group them together. You can choose to connect the ideas using arrows and things like that. But I believe that it's also possible in the 3D world to make use of the proximity and the third dimension to organize your ideas, more easily. And the one thing that we face when designing in 3D world is that in 2D world we are very clear about how things are in terms of interactions at a 2D interface. In the 3D world we have some the third dimension to think of. And that's why we try to make sure that in the 3D world, it's easy to connect objects together. So we have lots of kind of advanced snap to functionalities so that you don't need to adjust. And it's very clear that we don't want people using 3D worlds to be to have the same kind of tools as 3D designers, which are, use very 3D advanced, techniques and procedures to really create 3D objects, to the level and detail that they want. But that's a whole different problem. So there's a lot of parameters to think of here and a lot of design decisions to make. So if I continue, basically, I wanted to show through this clip the potential of a simple concept and the diversity of objects, of 3D artifacts that you can create and use in your classroom situations. So we have come to towards the end of this clip. I just wanted to share with you a few links that you can go and check to learn more about RezMela apps. And if you go to RezMela.com, you will have access to more information about the system. Since this picture is here, you can very quickly see that all these rooms are actually cubes. Throughout this clip, we demonstrated what we could do with smart cubes and simpler cubes and stick them together in order to build objects. But you can also, if the cubes were rooms, then you can build buildings, and you can have special objects that you can deploy. So that's basically the idea. We're trying to create a new way to speed up the construction of 3D worlds, 3D content. So please do go to this site to learn more about not only about Melablocks, but about the other things that are coming up, that will be coming up soon. As I said, we have 2 regions at present that you can visit on Kitely. Just go to kitely.com and you can create an account. The account is free if you want to access the worlds and learn about First Look. First Look is one of the regions that we are hosting and that has the Melablocks app available for people to try. We also have another region called the Apps region, and that's where we will be deploying new apps as they come up, and you'll get a chance to try all the different applications before deciding whether you would need them or not. Thanks for your attention, and please don't forget to subscribe or hit the notification bell so that you get informed of our clips as soon as they come out. All right. Thank you for your attention.